Welcome back to Rower Up. It's KGP for the O-Plate now. Fraser Wallace and Matt Booth on the front row of the grid with Jack Partridge and Robbie Dalgleish on row 2. Toby Sowery and the legend Bobby Game there in P6. Stefan De Resta and Josh Waring, but keep an eye on Danny Cruttenden in the P10, a returnee to the world of karting after a brief absence. Jonathan Davis on the very back of the grid in the number 1, of course. He'll be a threat as well. Here we go, into the first lap. And through the chicane, there's a lot of jostling for position. Oh, Dalgleish has gone off onto the grass there. He had really nowhere to go, battling it out with Partridge. Now Dalgleish going for the lead on the inside of Wallace. He's got him. Oh no, Wallace is going to get him back again on the undercut. Goodness me, more action in the first 4 corners of this race for Robbie Dalgleish, and a lot of drivers getting a season. Brilliant stuff. So Stefan De Resta in the mid-pack there. Oh, that's number 2, Bobby Game, making a beautiful undercut pass on Matt Booth and going for the lead himself. He's up to 3rd position after a bit of a slow start. But Dalgleish is back in front again, so he leads from Wallace with Game in 3rd position. This could be quite an interesting battle between these 3 as the race goes on. Don't count out the 56 of Matt Booth either. They're in 4th position. There he is, just in the background. But in the lead, Robbie Dalgleish, a very eventful first lap. Look at that from Bobby Game, up to 2nd position. There was barely enough room to get through, and he storms up the inside. Wallace has got him back, but Bobby Game really wants this.
Bobby Game, British champion, I think it was back in 93. He was British champion twice. 93, I think, was the last time, if I remember rightly. He's a 34 kart, makes up a couple of places, and Game slides wide. And 34 holds on the 10 kart. That's the pole man. Oh, and he's taken out the 9 kart. And that's Rob Shield. Let's have a look at that again in slow motion. How's that all panned out? We've got, who's leading now? Oh, the leader's spun! That's 91 in the Stuart S. is all his own work. He's spun out all on his own. Here's the replay, Jake.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. There's action all over the place. We're running out of directions to look in. A beautiful move up the inside from the 34. So Waring makes a beautiful move there on Wallace. Wallace tags him, and again there's contact. He gets onto the mud stuff and then spits out the kart sideways across the racetrack. There's absolutely nothing the 9 can do. Shield clips the kart and spins out himself. It's just a chain reaction. Once one thing happens, everything happens. There's nothing you can do about it, and both drivers very lucky to get away with it. In fact, the 34 of Waring is now your leader, of course, because Dalgleish has spun, Waring up in the lead.
He is, but it won't be for long. Look at his rear bumper, Jake. It's hanging off. He's going to get a black and orange flag, a mechanical flag, so the leader is going to be flagged out of this race.
And that's going to put Stefan De Resta up into 2nd place with Bobby Game there in 3rd. Problems there perhaps for Danny Curl in the 67. I thought I saw something fall off his card as well. So I don't think this race is done, far beyond anybody's reach. Josh Waring then in the lead. There it is. You called it right, Alan. That's the black and orange flag going to come out then for the race leader. What a disaster for Josh Waring. He fought so hard to get into the lead, but he is causing a hazard for the other drivers potentially. There it is, the black and orange for the 34 of Josh Waring. What a disappointment for him. He did so well to get up to the lead, but now Dalgleish effectively in the 91 is your leader with Stefan De Resta, brother of Paul, of course, Formula 1 driver, right on his tail, making a bid for what is about to become the lead of this race. Bobby Game's threatening too.
Yeah, Stefan De Resta up from 7th place to 3rd, make that 2nd now. And you can see the leader there looking behind. He's looking at something on his kart. He's seen the mechanical flag clearly. He's trying to see what's wrong with the kart. He won't know that the bumper perhaps is hanging off, but it is, and he's going to have to come in and get that repaired. It is, of course, quite dangerous. If it does come off, it could fly into the faces of the drivers behind, hence why he's been given a mechanical flag. He's not left the circuit yet, though, Jake. And Ian Blair, the clerk of the course here at this British Open Championship, as we see De Resta up the inside of a 2nd, can't quite hold on to it. He's got a 2nd technical flag. Clerk of the course has called for the starter to give him a 2nd technical flag. We know that he's seen the flags. He'll know that he's got a problem with the kart. He might not know what the problem with the kart is and might think, well, I don't want to come off the track while I'm leading.
It's certainly not when the O-Plate is at stake. He's not going to want to give it up if he thinks the kart is fine. De Resta down the inside again, and Dalgleish gets him on the undercut, and Bobby Game gets through as well. Game with a chance to go for the overall lead here, because of course Waring is going to have to pit in the 34. Game up to 2nd place, challenging Dalgleish. This is a brilliant 3-way fight. Dalgleish, Game and De Resta. Waring still leading, but that's not going to be for long. He's received his 2nd black and orange flag. If he receives a 3rd, well, that's definitely going to be a bad day for him.
In fact, there you go, Jake. I was just going to say, black flag's been called for now by Ian Blair, the clerk of the course. He will take a very dim view of a driver who's clearly been shown a black and orange mechanical flag. That is an instruction to leave the circuit. Ian Blair, clerk of the course, knows that the driver's been given that flag twice, and he is now taking a very dim view of the fact the driver's ignored that flag, and he's now giving him a black flag. Black flag means leave the circuit, report to the clerk of the course, and I think he might find his licence having a few points added to it at the end of the day for ignoring flags.
Oh dear, Josh Waring not doing a good job today. You should never ignore a black and orange flag. It's definitely not going to win you any brownie points. If anything, as Alan said, it's going to get points taken on your licence. So the leader is Dalgleish, and Game and DeResta are battling for second. They were jostling for position up at McRae's and Iredale's. In fact, Game was actually signalling to DeResta, come on, let's get on with it. Let's get after Dalgleish. Waring pulls off. DeResta up the inside of Game for second place, and Dalgleish has a nice little advantage now over DeResta and Bobby Game here. Very good indeed between these three. Dalgleish will want to hold on to the victory here, and who's this making his way up into fourth position? I think that could be the 47 of Cruttenden. Yes, it is. So Cruttenden, the returnee, is back in town.
Danny Cruttenden, a real blast from the past, a real top driver in his day. Danny Cruttenden back in karting this weekend. He has registered, Jake, for the British Karting Championships, the Super 1 Championships this year as well, but we didn't see him at the first round. So he may just be doing a couple of rounds this season. This is his first outing, first time we've seen him this year. There on that 47 kart in fourth place, but real top quality driver, Danny Cruttenden. It's still Dalgleish that leads it. 34 kart has left the circuit. I would like to be a fly on the wall of that meeting between the 34 kart and Ian Blair. Ian Blair asking the question, so you were given two mechanical flags, Mr. Waring. Why did you choose to ignore them?
And now we've got Danny Curl making a move on the inside of Matt Booth for fifth position as well. So these two drivers are coming into the fray as well behind Cruttenden. So still six drivers potentially with a chance to take the O-plate. This is a really interesting race we've got now, because Dalgleish has now got DeResta behind him. So Stefan DeResta has moved his way into second place with Game in third. Oh, running a bit wide, Dalgleish. I think DeResta's poised to pounce here.
Stefan DeResta's brother Paul, of course, in Formula 1. You will not be seeing Stefan in Formula 1, Jake. The reason being he's about 8'7". He's just too big to fit in a Formula 1 car.
No, indeed. He quite likes the idea of circuit racing in maybe sports cars or touring cars in the future. But no, his brother is definitely going to do all the Formula 1 driving for the family. But this, again, is a family that has a decent reputation for motor racing in general, not just karting. I mean, their cousins are the Frankittis. Marino is a GT driver, and Dario, of course, is a four-time IndyCar champion and three-time Indy 500 winner.
Stefan DeResta, DTM. That's what I'm saying. I'd love to see Stefan in DTM. I think he'd do great in that, as he's up the inside. Past Robbie Dalgleish for the lead as he held on. He's trying to squeeze Robbie out wide there. It's good driving. Robbie's trying to squeeze him back to the inside. It doesn't work. Stefan holds on. That's a great piece of driving. And Bobby Game now takes advantage through the second.
Very nice driving there from Stefan DeResta. Dalgleish was driving very defensively, and Stefan said, no mate, I'm on the inside, give it up, I've got this one. And he takes the lead with Bobby Game right behind him. Now we have two very important names in karting, DeResta and Game, battling for the lead in the 2013 British Open Championship. Bring it on, this is going to be sensational. 47 years old, Bobby Game taking on the brother of a Formula 1 driver, Stefan DeResta, who is no mean driver in his own right, of course. Stefan has been absolutely amazing in karting right from the first time he sat in one. So it really proves that this family has motor racing running through its veins. There's no blood in that family, it's pure castrol oil. These guys having a great fight for position. Bobby Game on the back of Stefan DeResta through Iredale's, and they're leaving Robbie Dalgleish behind at this stage. They're having a two-man war here.
Yeah, it looks like it's between these two as Game up the inside, side by side. The Stewart-S's got a little bit of contact between them, but Stefan DeResta just manages to hold on. Here's the replay, and this would prove to be the last significant move of the race. This was Bobby Game's effort to take the British Open title. It didn't quite happen. Look at this. Oh, just side by side. And Stefan just manages to hold on.
That was more touring cars than karting. Some fantastic wheel-to-wheel dicing there. Both drivers very clean, very determined. And into the last lap, Stefan DeResta is about to become a British Open champion, following in the footsteps of his brother Paul, who was a Jicker dominator back in the day. Now Stefan de Resta is 2013 British Open champion. What a drive!
Stefan, great weekend for you. You must be absolutely delighted. I'm sure your brother will be as well.
Yeah. We struggled. We were going really well all weekend, and it came to qualifying. We lost a lot of time. And we think it was down to tyres, like slicks. But we knew with the session later on Friday night in the wet, we knew we were in with a chance. And the first final we went out in slicks when it was wet, so we didn't really get much of a indication from there. But when we went out in the final there, we knew we were in with a good shout, and it was just a matter of getting through and holding on. I had terrible problems with the carburation, and Bobby said that himself. He says he could see it, so I was having to fight and dig deep to win it. But I managed to hold on in the end, and I'm happy.
Word about Bobby Game. Put you under a real load of pressure there. His age, just fantastic, isn't it?
No, he's very good. Obviously, he's got a few British Championships, his name over the years, and he's a very good driver. He's a very fair driver. At one point, we had a bit of an argy-bargy in that, and he took it, and after it, we shook hands and says good race. So it's good sportsmanship, and I wish more people were like him when we raced against each other.
More silverware for the de Resta family in British karting. We'll be back after the break for more nail-biting action from Raura.